The Final Furlong Podcast is proudly brought to you by Geoff Banks Bet. Join the excitement and sign up to Geoff Banks Online now to get 10% off any net losses returned as cash after your first month of betting up to £500 at geoffbanks.bet. As the countdown to Royal Ascot is well and truly on, who better to talk to than the man who's trained more winners than anybody in the history of racing, considering the meeting dates back to the 1700s. That's quite the achievement. 85 winners so far, 12 times leading trainer. Aidan O'Brien, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much. It will be a pleasure, Emmet.
I know you don't really like those accolades being thrown at you, and anytime you do have a big win, you tend to put the focus of attention more so on your team as opposed to taking the glory for yourself. But I know Royal Ascot means an awful lot to you, and it means an awful lot to Coolmore as well, because if you win there, you're winning on the international stage. Everybody can see how good your horse is. So how is the team heading into the big week?
Yeah, it seems fine, Emmet. Obviously, there'll be little tweaks and that's still to happen and things to be finalised. But so far, we're happy enough with most of them.
I'm going to start with your 2-year-olds, if that's okay, because you've got a really exciting team to look at. Camille Pissarro might not have been ideal the last day, getting beaten in the Marble Hill, but that was still a huge run. And the market is very much speaking in the horse's favour. Favourite for the Coventry. How's he been since?
Yeah, we're very happy since. We were probably happy that he got beat and got plenty of experience rather than and winning and not get experience. He learned a lot, we felt, and we probably learned a lot about him. He was a little bit babyish, and Ryan felt that he would leave the run well behind him. Was very happy with the run, and he had the fight in a finish as well, which was good and kind of very important before he got to Royal Ascot, and everybody seems very happy with him since. And
the benefit of the 2 runs will obviously stand him in good stead as well. And Wooden Bassets really seem to enjoy Royal Ascot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very important. If you can get 2 runs into a 2-year-old, it can be a big advantage. And this is a big horse, so he's a big rangy horse. So hopefully he will progress. But no, we were delighted to get the 2 runs into him, really.
Did he stand out as being your most obvious contender for the Coventry a while back, Aidan?
Yeah, he probably was always from a long, long time back. We always thought he was our Coventry horse. I won very easy the first day and probably didn't learn much, and then got into a kind of a fight early the last day with a horse that was probably harder and tougher than he was on the day and the more experienced. But obviously we were delighted that happened, and then we were delighted the way he took the run and progressed from it.
Tunbridge Wells, is he a horse who could join him?
Yeah, it's possible. He could. It's also possible that he could wait for the Curragh. So we're debating that at the moment. He's still in it with him at the moment, but only a possible at the moment.
Okay. He was very good over 6 furlongs at the Curragh the last day. One to look out for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I thought, he was green enough the last day too, but we think he will progress with racing. That's turned very well, you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think he's going to be a very nice horse. As could Little Big Bear's brother, who was obviously a Royal Ascot hero a couple of years ago. Whistlejacket, I thought he looked very exciting last time out, dropped to 5 furlongs and up in class into a listed race. Is he going to go for the Norfolk, or could he go for the same race that Little Big Bear went for, the Windsor Castle?
Yeah, it looks like the Norfolk at the moment. We saw he win first time and he got beat back and won very nicely the next day. So it looks like the Norfolk. He's a fast horse. It seems to be in good form. So I'd imagine it would be the Norfolk he would go to.
Okay, and have you figured out a horse for the Windsor Castle? Because I know it's a race you like to have a big contender for. Treasure Isle, maybe?
Yeah, that's it. Treasure Island and Celtic Chieftain, both of those could go to it. Celtic Chieftain won in the last day, and Treasure Island won in May. So it's very possible both of those could run.
And you've got 2 very exciting fillies as well. One, Heaven's Gate. I'm not sure if she's named after the film that almost destroyed Hollywood and ended the Hollywood epics. A massive flop. Daughter of Churchill looked very exciting on second start over 6 furlongs. And Fairy Godmother, who, this horse was really, really impressive. Looked like a Group 1 performer. Daughter of Knight of Thunder, winning a Group 3 the last day and turning around form from debut with a Gerlines filly. Are they both on track for the Royal Ascot targets?
Yeah, both. And it's kind of looking like at the moment both might run into Albany. At the moment, obviously the filly that won at Curragh the last day, she might go straight there, and obviously the Thunder filly as well. So it looks like both of those will go there. And it looks like truly Enchanting, the filly that won in Tipperary, she might go to Queen Mary now. That's just changed in the last kind of hour or two. So that's what we're thinking at the moment.
If you were to advise Ryan which of the 2 he should ride, who would it be?
There's no doubt he'll ride Heaven's Gate, I would imagine. Fairy Godmother.
I was
No
going to
doubt.
say.
Yeah. There's no doubt he'll ride Fairy Godmother, Emmet, I'd imagine. Yeah.
I was going to make a phone call to Geoff Banks straight away there. I was like, hang on a second, we've got the greatest touch of all time coming here. But no, Fairy Godmother looked a superstar the last day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we were very happy. We thought she'd win the first day, and she didn't, and won. So we went out the next day with just one thing in mind, to just educate her, and she learned plenty and won nicely, really.
Okay, it's a really exciting 2-year-old crop. It's an exciting 3-year-old crop as well, Aidan. Henry Longfellow, things didn't work out for him in the French 2,000 Guineas the last day, but you were warning beforehand that, like most of your 3-year-olds, he was going to need the first run of the season. And tactically, I know things didn't really pan out for you the way you would have wanted to. How has he come out of the race since, though, in preparation for the St. James's Palace Stakes?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Everything went really smooth and well so far. Now, there's a good few things that happen in France with him in the race and everything else that we think he should leave well behind him, and we're very happy with his work sense. So we think and hope that you should see a much better run the next day.
He's a very exciting prospect for this season, unbeaten in 3 starts last year, obviously winning the Vincent O'Brien Group 1 National Stakes as well at the Curragh. I mean, there's no reason to think anything other than this is a horse who's going to be a serious player in Group 1s this season.
Yeah, no, obviously he's a very good 2-year-old, and he's by the Bowie. He's a great traveller through his race, so he can quicken, So we always thought he went like a real miler, and we're very happy with his work sense. So we're looking forward to seeing him run now again the next day.
And you've got interesting backup, Aidan. River Tiber is a horse I'm very fond of. He ran a massive race in the Irish 2,000 Guineas the last day. Unquestionable and Mountain Bear came back in that race too after setbacks, various different setbacks for those two horses, particularly Mountain Bear. We're lucky he's still with us after what happened at the Breeders' Cup. But have you decided if the 3 of them will also go to Royal Ascot? I know the jersey was being mentioned for River Tiber at one point.
Yeah, that's right. Will probably run in St. James's with Henry, and River Tiber and the
Mountain Bear
will go to the jersey. That's what we're thinking at the moment.
River Tiber would be a really classy horse in the jersey, and it's obviously a race you've done well in, including winning last year with Age of Kings. Auguste Rodin, he's been a bit of an enigma, but when he's good, he is unbelievably good. 2 derbies last year, obviously a Group 1 as a 2-year-old, Irish Champion Stakes, Breeders' Cup turf as well. What did you make of his comeback effort in the Tattersalls Gold Cup? Because if White Birch is not there, everyone's raving about what a brilliant win it would have been.
Yeah, no, we were very happy with him. Obviously, the ground got a little bit on the slower side for him, and he had a little bit of a wobble coming down the hill. So would have lost a bit of momentum. But we were very happy with him on the high-handed track. And, so we were very happy with the horse. Obviously, John George's horse was very good on the day. And we were very happy with Augustus and delighted the way he came out.
We know what he's capable of, Aidan. We also know that he can throw in the odd stinker, as he did in Dubai at the start of the season, and he did in the King George last year. Is Ascot and the return there, is that any concern to you at all, or do you think you've got that licked now?
Yeah, not really. There was proper, genuine excuses for those runs, and looking forward to seeing him run now, really.
Have you given any other thoughts to where he might go after Royal Ascot? Racing him on the dirt was being talked about. Is that still a consideration for him?
Yeah, I think it is definitely a consideration. We'll see how Ascot will go, but all those things will be considered, I'd imagine. So like he's fresh, likely enough race horse, So I suppose we'll see how Ascot will go, but he's open to all those races, really.
The forecast is a bit mixed, and in any case, it doesn't seem like they can actually predict what the weather's going to be from one day to the next, never mind in a week's time. But would good ground be key to him?
I think he loves good ground. Obviously, he gets on at the Curragh, he works on slower ground, but he's such a beautiful mover. Good ground has to be a big help to him, really.
Kyprios, there's a picture that you signed years ago from my mother to give to me of the great Yates winning his 4th Gold Cup under Johnny Murtagh. It's obviously a race that you've got a real affinity for, and that Coolmore have a real affinity for as well. Kyprios comes back after an injury-plagued season last year where he missed the race, but trying to reclaim his crown. Does he give you the feel that he is the same superstar that he was 2 years ago?
We're very happy with him. He's obviously always has been a very lazy worker, but I know we're very happy with everything he's doing at home. We're delighted with his first 2 runs. He never does much when he gets to the front anyway. That's always been him from the time he was a 2-year-old. But no, everything looks very good at the moment, Emmet, with him.
Is he going to be joined by any stable companions?
I'm not sure. Probably not. I'd imagine Point Lonsdale might go to the Hardwicke. It might be wasting a run going there, run again Kyprios, really. Obviously, we were delighted with Point Lonsdale, how well he stayed in Chester. And there's a lot of doors from. But the Gold Cup is an extreme distance. Very few horses get to, when they go past 2 miles or 2.25 miles, very few get that distance, you know. So we wouldn't be sure that he would even get it if he ran, but obviously he's the type of horse who could run a massive race in it. But I think at the moment he might go to the Hardwicke as a second string rather than a second string to the Gold Cup. But that's only thinking out loud at the moment, and obviously that could change.
He does look like a really exciting prospect in his own right. Point Lonsdale, so I'm excited to see what he does, but probably best to stay out of Kyprios' way for now at least. If he does win this, Aidan, would there be the possibility of him coming back as a 7-year-old and trying to win 3?
I would say there definitely is. Obviously, Aoife and Aoife and the lads, they love racing and they love watching these horses race. So, and when you get a horse like him they're so unique and so hard to find, I would imagine that would definitely think about it if everyone was agreeable to it and the horse was well enough for it.
That is a fantastic prospect because he won the Gold Cup a year younger than Yates, so technically he's now catching up to him, having missed the race last year. Tower of London, he was brilliant in the Middle East, particularly on Dubai World Cup night. Any thoughts for him? Could he go to the Hardwicke?
Yeah, he could be the Hardwicke, and I think he's in the Gold Cup as well. So it's possible he could go on the Hardwicke. I suppose depending on continuous. So he could go to the Hardwicke, and one or two of the others could run with him. It's just slotting him in somewhere, and listen, he doesn't have to go anywhere. But he could obviously go to the Hardwicke or the Gold Cup. Probably more favour the Hardwicke at the moment. And
what about continuous? He ran a big race at Royal Ascot last year, but then improved dramatically as the season went on, ending with the St. Ledger victory. He's a very exciting prospect for this season.
Yeah, the plan with him is maybe to go to the Hardwicke. He hasn't obviously run this year, which is not ideal, but it just wasn't meant to be, and we couldn't get him out, and he had 2 race course gallops, but he definitely will improve from the run wherever he goes, but we're happy with him, and it's very possible he could go to the Hardwicke as first string.
Given the fact that most of your horses have needed their first run of the season, do you put that down to the climate that we're in? The weather's been absolutely awful. I'm not that far away from Ballydoyle. It's been relentless rain, and even though you've got all those great facilities, you can't do a whole lot about it when the weather is absolutely shocking. So essentially this is a question really about continuous. Do you feel like the horses are able to get more work done now as the weather has improved slightly?
I think so, no, absolutely, and we are getting more into them, but obviously it can't happen overnight, and it's a gradual increase in tempo of work. So it definitely is increasing since the ground got drier, but like you said, we did have a bad morning again this morning, so but we're getting as much into them as we can without hurting them and without forcing them, and all we can do is get them to the stage that they're at, the next stage, wherever that is safe and healthy and in such a way that they will progress. Because if you try to do too much too quick, you'll only set them back. But slowly the heat is starting to come a bit stronger on them all, really, when the ground gets better.
Yeah, reasons to be optimistic so about Continuous's comeback and any other horses who will be making their seasonal debuts very, very soon. You've got a whole host of 3-year-olds, Aidan, that could go for races that you've got a very good record in. The King Edward, the Seven Stakes, the Queen's Vase, the Hampton Court Stakes. These are all races you've done exceptionally well in over the years at Royal Ascot. The ones that stand out to me are Diego Velazquez, who you've often dropped a horse back in class from the French Derby to go on to success. Moscow Ballets comes to mind, for example, in the Hampton Court. Grosvenor Square, Illinois, Agenda, London City, Jan Brueghel and Highbury, 2 horses who we've only seen once, but they were very, very impressive on their most recent starts. Are those horses all in line for Royal Ascot, or have you whittled down the team that will line up for those races?
Yeah, no, they all are. Jan Brueghel, we might wait with him and go to maybe the Curragh and then maybe to Goodwood. He just had one easy run, really. But Highbury would be, like, obviously they're between the Queen's Vase and the King Edward. They're all the same type of horses, and some of them maybe a little bit quicker than others. And we haven't really decided yet. Both the Queen's Vase at the moment, we're thinking maybe Highbury, the Equator, Grosvenor Square, Jasper, the Lummas, and maybe Euphrates. That's what we're thinking at the moment. And then for the King Edward, we're thinking of maybe the horse that won at the Curragh, the Chief Little Rock, Illinois, Agenda. Those 2 races haven't been firmed up yet because one is a mile and a half, the other is a mile and 6, obviously, and we're just going to see what way the next few days fall for them all, really.
Almost certainly going to be races that you have multiple entries in. Normally, Ryan Moore is just on the right horse. He has an incredible record of getting it right. Last year, Age of Kings didn't quite work out that way. But it's going to be pretty difficult for him to choose between these horses because they're all improving at a rate of knots that's... I'm pretty certain that Wayne Lordan's going to be excited about his prospects, basically.
I think so. Like, Wayne is going to have some very good second riders, right? And it's really impossible until you go and do it and run the distance on the day and to find out exactly who is the best over a mile and a half or who is the best over a mile and 6. What we're trying to do is, the lads understand that better than anyone, but if we can get the right horses into the right race first, and then hopefully some of them might be good enough to win it, and we learn more about them as we go along. And Ryan and Wayne know that very difficult. It's obviously, we always try to put Ryan on what we think is the best. Ryan will see the work and all everything, and he'll either agree with it or disagree, but he usually agrees what we're thinking. And like, it obviously always doesn't work out because horses obviously can be a little bit better on the track or can improve more, get a better run-through race or whatever, but usually that's what we try and do.
This episode of the Final Furlong Podcast is only possible with your support, listening and watching, and with the support of our sponsors. So give me 60 seconds to tell you about Geoff Banks Bet. Betting on horse racing used to be very simple. It was us, the punter, versus them, the bookmakers, the old enemy. But today, betting with online bookmakers is zero fun. Online betting companies promise you the world, but if you have the nerve and the audacity to place a winning bet, they will make you jump through endless hoops just to access your cash. It is not fair and it's not fun. And betting is supposed to be fun. Geoff Banks is different. He's one of the most recognizable faces in British racing. He's got pitches at racecourses all across the United Kingdom. He is a true horse racing fan. And while Geoff very much promotes responsible betting, he is standing up and fighting back against these insane affordability checks. Affordability checks that will destroy the levy and kill British racing. Sign up to geoffbanks.bet right now. Use our promo code FFP500, and not only will you get access to a bookmaker who values your custom, who is a racing fan, but he'll give you best odds guaranteed on British and Irish racing, and he'll give you 10% cash back on net losses after your first month, up to £500. Gamble responsibly, 18 plus only, begambleaware.org. It's tradition refined with modern tech and unbeatable odds. Use our promo code FFP500 and place your bets now with Geoff Banks Bet. This is a paid advertisement from BetterHelp Therapy Online. I want to take a moment to talk about something really important: mental health. This year has been flying by, and it's a great time to reflect on what we've accomplished and what we still want to achieve. For me, therapy has played a crucial role in my life, especially during my teenage years. Growing up with an abusive father and dealing with a traumatic childhood was incredibly tough. Therapy provided me with a safe space to work through my feelings, develop positive coping skills, and set healthy boundaries. It was invaluable to me then, and it's invaluable to me now. If you've ever thought about starting therapy, but you were put off by the prohibitive costs or the idea of pouring out your feelings in a stranger's office, I recommend giving BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, making it convenient and flexible to fit into your schedule. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a registered therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time at no additional charge. With over 1,000 therapists registered in the UK, BetterHelp can connect you with professionals who have a wide range of expertise in mental health. And our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/furlong. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/furlong. Take a moment for yourself and get on your way to being your best self with BetterHelp at betterhelp.com/furlong. I've got two more horses to ask you about. Three, actually, if you don't mind. Content and Buttons. Are they both going to head to Royal Ascot? I think Buttons has been very unlucky with the way races have panned out for her so far.
Yeah, but Buttons had a little setback, so she's not doing much. She's swimming this week, so that means she won't go to Ascot. Content she was going to go to the French Oaks on Sunday, and we just changed our mind, so it's very possible she could run second string in the Coronation. She's in good form. She's a little bit keen in France, a slowly run race, and still ran a nice race. So it's very possible she could go a second string in the fillies race over a mile, the Coronation.
And that brings me to the last horse to ask you about, because the first string for that race is definitely going to be Opera Singer. She was a brilliant 2-year-old, daughter of Justify. All of her siblings were by Warfront, and they didn't really train on, but she looks like that's not an issue at all, because that was a huge run in the 1,000 guineas. Again, when you were warning she would badly need that first run of the season, you must have been really pleased with that effort.
Yeah, she's only in full work kind of 4 weeks, most probably, and well, it's really good expect her to have run that well. We'd been very happy for her run mid-dim and improve a lot, but she nearly still got involved in the finish, and it was a big run. So, we think she's come forward from the run, and she will get much further than a mile probably whenever the lads decide to step her up. But we're looking forward to seeing her run again, really.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what she can do. I know that Justify means an awful lot to Coolmore as well, and obviously we've already seen Justify's win. One has won a Derby trial and been sold to Hong Kong. Another one, there's not a hope in hell of him being sold because he's the most valuable horse in training, arguably right now in City of Troy. And he's my final question for you. How is he since the Derby?
Yeah, good. Everything has been good with him. Very happy. The plan obviously is to go to the Eclipse with him. No, everything went well since, so we're looking forward to seeing him run now again, Emmet.
Very exciting that he's going for the Eclipse. It's not something you've done, take a Derby winner and go there. They normally go Irish Derby, but 10 furlongs will hold no fears for him. It also would have been, with the greatest respect to all the 3-year-olds, it would have been the easier option to go to the Curragh, but you were throwing him in at the deep end, and you want to show everybody how good this horse is, because he'll have to take on the older horses now.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, it would be the option to Curragh, and we love going to the Curragh and all that. But I think the lads felt maybe they wanted to keep him as sharp as they could, and that's why he went 1 mile and a quarter, because he'd either go to Leopardstown or probably York for his next one, and then after that, he could have a look at the Breeders' Cup Classic or something like that, you know. So I think that was the reason. And obviously, we also had Los Angeles, who did a lot of hard work in the Derby, so we just felt that it was good to give him his chance as well on his big day. So it's kind of the two races kind of worked for the two of them, really.
Well, I was saying in the Derby review that Los Angeles will win the Irish Derby, and that was before City of Troy had been rerouted. I just had it in my head that that's how that was going to play out. So hopefully I'm right about that. We have to see. The race has to be run between now and then. Going back to the Breeders' Cup Classic, Aidan, obviously you went so close with Giants Causeway. Declaration of War went massively close for yourself and Ryan not so long ago as well. You've had some near misses in it, but he just looks to have that little bit of something special about him. And if he can win at the Breeders' Cup Classic, it's a license to print money, basically. Everybody's going to want to breed to him already, but they're really going to want to do that because he's between two worlds then. He can be a dirt sire and he can also be a turf stallion. So obviously it means a lot to you. But do you feel like he has the attributes required to be a proper dirt performer?
We always thought he did. We always thought he was very special. And obviously he's going to have a season here first because the Sierra de Leon is going to get his chance in Saratoga first. But we always thought he was a very special horse, really. He's a traveller, he stays, he's all the things, he fights. So listen, it could be very exciting, but obviously he has to get through his next few runs here, and he will be after having a pressure season here before he goes out there. But it would be unbelievable and great if he's well to go out there and see what he does on the dirt.
And I know that you always like to look forward and not really look back, but you told everybody, don't panic. Like, there was all that narrative out there. He hasn't trained on, he's not that big. And you kept trying to just calm everybody and maintain that confidence in him. When he's rounding the final turn, 4th last in 12th position, I was starting to doubt Aidan. I wasn't so sure what was going to happen. And in seconds, he's right there, capable of going to win the race. What did that mean to you that day to see your opinion in him vindicated?
I suppose, obviously you're never sure. We always felt he was very special. But listen, like what you said, you can't, until you see them do it or it happens in front of you, you're never sure, obviously. But listen, we always thought the world of him. We knew it went wrong in Newmarket, and we were really looking forward to the Derby with him, really.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing him for the rest of the season. The Eclipse first, maybe the Jumpment International. I know William Darby would be delighted if he heads to York. Obviously, Leopardstown want him too. And then the Breeders' Cup as well. It's going to be hugely exciting. Royal Ascot first, though. Aidan, the very best of luck to you for Royal Ascot 2024. Please, God, we'll talk to you again over the summer.
My pleasure, Emmet. Thanks very much. Thanks, Emmet. Thank you.
The Final Furlong Podcast is proudly brought to you by Geoff Banks Bet. Join the excitement and sign up to Geoff Banks Online now to get 10% off any net losses returned as cash after your first month of betting up to £500 at geoffbanks.bet.